How did you know how to put this all together?
I had excellent help. Quite a lot of planning went into this.
I would say so.
Hello my DC fans, as of me hitting record right now on my camera, it is 5 minutes from when they said they're about to reveal stuff for the DC Universe. I thought it'd be fun if I record my live reaction to reading the news, or some people said James Gunn might be dropping a video. I'm not really sure. All I want really, other than the reveals of the Superman title, hopefully a Robin. I saw some journalists teasing possible Robin announcement. What I 100% most want out of these announcements is for them just to be clear about, is this universe a reboot? Are they starting over? Just some context about what this world is going to be looking like. Okay, they dropped the articles, baby. Let's draw. All right, I see one article. Let's go. James Gunn and Peter Safran unveil big plans with new movies for Batman and Robin. Yes, we can Robin, baby! Swamp Thing, The Authority, Lanterns, and TVs. Okay, I gotta read this article. Oh, freaking Robin! I kissed the dick!
A few moments later.
Okay, bringing my excitement down, I've now read all the articles, seen all the details for the announcements. Let's break them down. As I'm doing that, be sure to leave me your opinions down below on what you think of James Gunn's Chapter 1 plan. This is only a partial part of Chapter 1, so it's not even the entirety of the first plan. Is this something that got you really excited? Are there any big surprises in here? Any disappointments? I joked around at the beginning of my video that James Gunn took the Marvel plan, but this really does not feel like Marvel. He's making DC's Chapter 1 feel very distinct and unique, and I kind of praise him for that. I'll put timestamps in the description for the movies and TV shows that were announced along with the details, but I do think we got to start off talking about these upcoming 4 movies we have this year and how James Gunn says those connect to our current DCU. The biggest thing I was wanting with these announcements is some clarity. Is this a reboot? Is this not a reboot? What's going on? And I'll be honest with you guys, it's still a little messy whether this is a full reboot or a half reboot. While he doesn't mention much about Shazam! Fury of the Gods, James Gunn does mention that the Flash movie with Ezra Miller is one of the best superhero movies he's ever seen, and he does mark it as the reset for the DCU. Probably even more fascinating though when it comes to Blue Beetle, a movie I'm really looking forward to and don't want it to be kicked out of the DC universe. He said, then there's Blue Beetle on August 18th. That sort of has its own world and fits in directly into our DCU. And that right there, guys, confirmation, Blue Beetle isn't getting kicked out of the DC universe. Although there might be connections to like the previous DCEU, it looks like it's standalone enough, and any cameos or Easter eggs or references to other heroes can be tweaked enough where it fits into the new DC universe. So that's good to know Blue Beetle is officially part of that. Also, a side note, James Gunn and Peter Safran did address the Ezra Miller situation and whether they'll be returning as Barry Allen, and they're being super vague on it. Safran said here, Ezra is completely committed to their recovery. We are fully supportive of that journey that they're on right now. When the time is right, when they feel they are ready to have the discussion, we'll all figure out what the best way forward is. But right now, they are completely focused on their recovery. And that to me could go either way. It could mean, yeah, we're gonna keep them, we're just not ready to announce that yet, or no, we're gonna definitely fire Ezra Miller, but if we say that, that'll make people lose interest in the upcoming Flash movie, so for now, they stay. We even have a recent statement by James Gunn with actors who create controversy, because there was some going on with Zachary Levi when he made some semi-anti-vax comments on Twitter. He said exactly, I can't be changing my plans all the time because an actor says something I don't agree with. Actors and filmmakers that I work with are going to say things that I agree with and things I don't agree with. So really take that as you will. I'm still betting Ezra Miller's not staying on, but they could be. But okay, jumping into the announcements, let's start off with television before we get to the super exciting stuff that made me jump up and down. First thing he announces is something called Commandos. It's an animated series written by James Gunn, and he does say animated people will cross over into live action, usually played by the people who voices them. The premise features Frankenstein monsters teaming up with a werewolf, a vampire, and a Gorgon to fight Nazis in World War II. It doesn't appear that Gunn's version takes quite the same approach. Weasel, one of the characters from Gunn's 2021 film Suicide Squad, is one of the Commandos, along with Rick Flagg's father, Rick Flag Sr. I'm not too familiar with those characters, so my hype level really isn't there, but that's kind of cool. The next TV series we have here is titled Waller and is a spin-off series from Peacemaker featuring Viola Davis's Amanda Waller. It's also said that this show will be taking place between Peacemaker season 1 and 2. No announcement on season 2 of Peacemaker since James Gunn is very busy with Superman and planning out the rest of the DC universe. I think of this show almost like a Nick Fury type thing, where it's an opportunity to meet different characters in the DC universe that Waller comes in contact with, so that could be cool. But here's though where we get to the stuff that actually made me jump up and down and go, all right, I want to see this. Starting off here with a Green Lantern live action series titled Lanterns. This will be a Green Lantern show focusing on Hal Jordan and John Stewart.
This is a story of a couple of Green Lanterns, John Stewart and Hal Jordan, and we have a few other lanterns peppered in there, but this is really a terrestrial-based TV show, which is almost like True Detective with a couple of Green Lanterns who are space cops watching over Precinct Earth.
It's also worth mentioning that James Gunn mentions that this is a very important show for the future of his DCU, so this show will have implications to the larger universe. I have been dying for the Green Lanterns to come back on the big screen. I'm fine with HBO because they have been doing some quality stuff over there. Also, not gonna lie, having Hal Jordan and John Stewart together working in a detective fashion in outer space, that is way more exciting than the original Green Lantern show they had planned, where it was going to be set in different decades, touch upon some lesser known Green Lanterns. I know that's exciting for some people, but I want John Stewart and Hal Jordan, man. Those are my Green Lanterns. I wish it was a movie, but an HBO series, that is just as exciting. Next up here, we have Paradise Lost, which will be a prequel series about Wonder Woman and Themyscira. The show will mainly be focusing on the women of Themyscira before the birth of Diana, aka Wonder Woman. Gunn says specifically, how did that come about? What's the origin of an island of all women? What are the beautiful truths and the ugly truths behind all of that? And what's the scheming like between different power players in that society? To me, I don't think that's a bad idea for a show. Really, I just see this as the stepping stone for us to eventually get a new Wonder Woman, because again, James Gunn was not clear on whether this is a full reboot or a not reboot. Some articles are claiming that James Gunn and Peter Safran left the door open of previous DCU actors to come back if they're not already replaced. Specifically, people like Zachary Levi's Shazam, Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa's Aquaman. The door is open if they want to come back in this new DCU. But let's be honest, after like a whole season of Paradise Lost and a new Wonder Woman is born, that's basically telling me they're recasting Wonder Woman. They're just giving us some cushion room, and this prequel series is that. Bringing us to the last TV show before we get to the movie announcements here, Booster Gold. This is an obscure character I've actually been dying to see get a live action series. He is one unique character in the comics. They said here, while he may not be familiar to casual fans of DC, the character also known as Mike Carter is a fan favorite among devoted readers. Safran called Booster a loser from the future who uses basic future technology to come back to today and pretend to be a superhero. In the 25th century, Mike is a disgraced former football star who uses a time machine on display in the Metropolis Space Museum. Honestly, I think that is a great idea for a show, and I can already see multiple seasons of this coming down. And fans of the comics will also know Booster Gold teams up with an earlier version of the Blue Beetle, aka Ted Kord, who is rumored to have some sort of mention or appearance in the upcoming Blue Beetle movie we're getting this year. So I can definitely see them tying those two characters together. Season 1 will be setting up Booster Gold, and Season 2 will have him teaming up with Ted Kord's Blue Beetle, and that will be a whole season on its own. So I can already see kind of the connectivity here of the DC universe with what they've already got. Bringing us now, though, to talk about the movie side of things, and before we get to the DCU announcements, he did talk about Matt Reeves' Batman and the Joker too. James Gunn and Peter Safran, during their presentation to the press, were talking about he doesn't like that DC was just letting them use any character without any rules or establishments. If characters are mentioned and stuff is teased, that he wants it to all be connected. So when he's talking about the Batman with Matt Reeves and Joker that are all set in their separate universes, he says he wants to make a clear distinction to audiences that these are Elseworld stories. stories. They said here, Safran confirmed that such veers from his and Gunn's plans will be labeled clearly as DC Elseworld, just like the comics do. So it looks like movies like Joker 2 and The Batman could have a different DC logo appear in front of the movies, labeling them as Elseworld stories, trying to make it clear to the audience this isn't in our connected universe. Along with that, he does confirm though that The Batman is going to be titled The Batman Part 2 with a release date of October 3rd, 2025. Woohoo! I'm still happy that we're getting the Batman, y'all. And that ain't the only Batman we getting. So now getting to the official DCU connected movies here that won't be labeled as Elseworld, we have the official title of the rebooted Superman movie titled Superman Legacy. We also have an official release date of July 11th, 2025. Kind of crazy we're getting a Batman and Superman movie the same year where they're not going to be connected at all. But then again, that's how things worked before cinematic universes. James Gunn described this movie as it focuses on Superman balancing his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing. He is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way. He is kindness in a world that thinks of kindness as old-fashioned. It's also worth noting that James Gunn says that this is officially the start of the DCU, even though he was being casual with all the previous projects. He marks this as the beginning of Chapter 1. So I guess everything before it, think of it as a prelude. Either way, I'm really looking forward to what James Gunn does with this Superman movie. No word yet on the director or who's playing Superman. Next up here, a film that took me by surprise, The Authority. Since I don't know much about them, let me just let James Gunn detail it for you.
The Authority is a passion project of mine. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters we are now bringing into the DCU and will interact with all of our primary DCU characters. The Authority are a group of superheroes who think the world is broken and they want to fix it by any means necessary. I think it's a very different look at superheroes.
To me, this kind of sounds like, you know, Watchmen or The Boys or Invincible. It's that kind of rated R gray look at superheroes. Not to say that this will be rated R, it could be PG-13. It's a passion project for James Gunn, so that's why he made it part of it, but this is kind of a wild card for me. Not something I was expecting. Don't know if I'm hyped or not, but maybe once we know the full plan of Chapter 1, a story like this is very important and very necessary. We'll see. But okay, baby, the announcement that got me jumping up and down, so happy. Robin is finally in the DC universe. But he ain't the dick. We got the announcement of a new Batman movie. Yup, a new Batman movie titled The Brave and the Bold. So Batman won't even be in the title of this movie. They're going Dark Knight with this one. But James Gunn mentions that this Batman movie will be about Batman and his son Damian Wayne coming in contact with each other, very much inspired by the Grant Morrison run. Although in some of those runs it was Dick Grayson as Batman, but we haven't gotten that confirmation yet. This version of Robin is Damian Wayne. Gunn described him as our favorite Robin, a little son of a bitch, an assassin, and a murderer. Damian is Bruce Wayne's biological son, a fact unknown to Wayne for the first 8 to 10 years of Damian's life. It's a strange sort of father-son story about the two of them. Now look, even though it's not Dick Grayson, my favorite version of Robin, I'm hoping Nightwing can have a little cameo in there, or maybe Nightwing gets his own movie or TV show in this new DCU, hopefully. But I have so much to say about two different Batman movies happening at the exact same time, the Matt Reeves version and now this James Gunn world. I did not think they were going to give Batman his own film. This means so much. This also means Robin is not showing up in the Matt Reeves movies. He's not doing it, or else James Gunn wouldn't be also doing a Robin story. Oh, Chris, but maybe it'll be Dick Grayson and Reeves verse. That's, again, still too similar. It looks like it's just going to be Batman over there, no Bat family.
So this is the story of the two of them and the beginning of sort of the Bat family in the DCU.
James Gunn hinted that this is the start of the Bat family here, so in the DCU, we're gonna get more people, probably like Red Hood, Batgirl, or other characters. Also, this should let us know that this Batman is gonna be seasoned. He's not gonna be a new Batman, but I don't think he'll be old like Ben Affleck's. He'll probably be like 10 years on the job. He's gotta be if he was Batman when he created Damian. Also, we're finally getting a Batman and Robin movie that's gonna have a 10-year-old Robin? Let's freaking go! I've been dying to see that, Hollywood. Stop making Robin 17, 18. No, it don't work. Really, I have so much more to say about this, but this right now is my favorite announcement, and I'm gonna make a separate video talking about why I love this. Moving on from there, the next movie that they announced also caught me off guard, a Supergirl movie titled Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. One, since James Gunn said that this is Kara Zor-El, the cousin of Superman, it's not gonna be Sasha Calle's Supergirl from the upcoming Flash movie. It's sucks because she was about to get her own Supergirl movie. Now that Supergirl movie is given to somebody else who's yet to be cast. To me, having the inclusion of a Supergirl in here feels like they're leading up to the Infinite Crisis event to where eventually they could bring back all the different versions of DC characters past. That's my only think of the lead up that they're doing here, but other than that, man, okay, a Supergirl movie.
Now, Superman is a guy who was sent to Earth and raised by loving parents, whereas Supergirl in this story, she is a character who was raised on a chunk of Krypton. She watched everybody around her perish in some terrible way, so she's a much more jaded character.
I'm not gonna pretend like I'm extremely excited for it, but until I see the tone of this DC universe or what this new Superman is gonna look like, I have to wait and see if I'm that excited for this Supergirl movie. Because it makes me wonder if it's gonna take place on Earth or this chunk of Kryptonian rock like James Gunn was talking about. And the last feature film in this connected DC universe is Swamp Thing. Yeah, I love the idea of Swamp Thing getting his own movie, and it also goes to show you the diversity in Chapter 1. Stuff like this with some lesser known characters to the general public was just not possible in the MCU. James Gunn is attempting it. We'll see if it works out for him, but him mentioning this will tonally be darker than all the other DCU movies, I'm down for that. Also love that it's an origin, man. Sometimes origin stories are fun. Give us an origin. But anyways, guys, that is just partial Chapter 1 of the new DC universe. I'm actually excited for it. I think it looks really cool. Admittedly, there are some things in there I have to wait and see how they turn out, but if he's got a plan and this is all going to come forward in 8 to 10 years, let's see what you do, James Gunn. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.